oh, I'm not that person's friend no more. I don't like her. It's just like, I still love you and I still appreciate the experience we had. It's just not that anymore.
In more casual relationships, I feel like I'm a little bit harder to pin down. I just feel like not everyone gets the same version of me.
Ooh,
and that's intentional. Hey friends, and welcome back to Her Intentionally. This is the podcast about choosing to be intentional because
thriving doesn't happen by accident.
I'm your host, Keisha.
And I'm Jasmine.
And we have a little treat here today. Jazz, what we got?
So I've been severely dehydrated, so we're just, hydrating with some electrolytes. Watermelon flavor, my favorite.
Flavor. These electrolytes also have some trace minerals in them, like magnesium, zinc, potassium. So not only is this good for hydration, but it is also good to help reduce or clear up like brain fog.
Oh,
give a little mental clarity as well.
Girl, I've been needing it because I got mom brain still.
You have mom brain still?
Yeah, girl, I'll be like saying stuff mid-sentence and forget. Like, it just goes away.
Well, what do I have? Because I be doing that too.
Oh.
Is that just forgetfulness?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
But it could, brain fog too, so maybe this will help you.
Yeah. Okay. Just a little brain fog. All right. So y'all know the last episode we left off with the journal prompt, which was, what does mutual emotional effort look like to you? And we are going to start off by reflecting on that prompt because I want to know what came up. What came up for y'all? And what came up for you, Miss Thing?
So for me, what came up when I talk about mutual emotional effort is not having to shrink my emotions. It's not having to like mask how I'm truly feeling. And that's really important to me because I'm an emotional person. So my relationships, they have to have, it has to allow me to be able to express myself freely and fully.
Yeah, so allow you to be safe enough to feel
safe
that way.
enough. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. I love that you were able to get some insight in that.
Yes.
Yeah. What came up for me is consistency. Mutual emotional effort for me would look like consistency. So a person being able to follow through. Like maybe there's a conversation that we had earlier on, and there's follow through in that conversation without me needing to like constantly remind, or if I express that something is important to me, like them forgetting the thing, like, so just the follow through on it and being consistent in that way, the action oriented aspect of things, I think is what mutual emotional effort would look like for me. Yeah. That's
actually really important.
Yeah. Which actually kind of flows us right into our conversation piece for today, which is friendship breakups and how they don't really get enough respect. Because I feel like friendships are some of the most intimate relationships that we have, but we rarely ever talk about how those relationships end. So let's get into this conversation. And let's start with you, Jazz. Ooh. Why do you think friendship breakups hit different
from romantic relationships?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like they might be just as painful. So maybe not that different, honestly, because whenever I break up with friends, it feels like a heartbreak.
Yeah.
And so it's because like, those people, even though it's not like a romantic relationship, you still have to do the same work, right? You still have to get to know each other. You're still being intimate in, letting your guard down, being vulnerable, letting the friendship grow. So, I mean, that's very hurtful. And it also, in any relationship that's ending, it feels like a death.
Yeah.
And you have to treat it as such. So it's like, of course that person is still alive, but they're no longer a part of your world. And so that's very painful because maybe, a lot of my friendships, I like to do stuff with my friends. So maybe you have like certain hobbies that you do with just maybe this one friend.
That's right.
And so every time you go to do that hobby, now you'll think of that person.
That's right.
So it just feels like a death. And with any death comes like grief. And heartbreak.
Right. So yeah, I think so too. I think that friendship relationships are sometimes like the place where you hide or share multiple versions of yourself, or private versions of yourself that you're not sharing with the world, or sometimes maybe you're not sharing with your partner. And sometimes I know for me, I view my friends as like my family. So
Mm-hmm.
they feel like an extended family member in that
Yes.
sense. So of course, like if you lose that relationship to a degree, it can feel like you're losing a part of yourself, or you're losing a part of your identity,
Yes.
or you're losing a part of that habit that you shared
Mm-hmm.
with them. Like I know some people, like my sister and her best friend, they talk every day, like when she's on the way to carpool to go pick up her kids. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So if you lose that type of relationship, it almost feels like you're losing a sense of stability and that,
Yeah.
again, like that part of yourself, because you're
Yes.
used to talking to that person every day at this time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit is hurtful. So do you think women experience friendships differently than men?
I I do think women experience friendships differently than men, because I feel like women are more, we have the luxury of being more open in our friendships,
Yes.
and we have the luxury of having like more emotional attachment and being aware that we're emotionally attached in the friendships and relationships. I will see like guys, they'll talk about like sports, or they'll talk about like cultural events, but a lot of times it's like whatever conversation that brought them together, that interested them in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas girls, when we're in relationship, we'll talk about like whatever life stage we're in, whatever's
Mm-hmm.
happening around us, our personal relationships. Like, girl, you did your life insurance, I got mine.
Yeah.
Girl, how you healing this
Mm-hmm.
time? How's your inner self feeling? Or you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Super layered.
We tend to go a little bit deeper and have a little more emotional depth into the layers of who we are in our relationships. But I feel like it's something about us being women and us being afforded that luxury of being able to express in that way,
Yeah.
and to be able to say that we're working and improving and growing and all those things that I feel like men don't necessarily have. So I feel like maybe that shapes the way that women have relationships versus how men are in relationships with each other.
Yeah, I do feel like it is a bit different, and I kind of agree with you to a certain extent. But I've also seen guys where they have like a romance going on, and
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like they're in a relationship together. And so, yes, they probably don't. Well, no, I've seen guys like talk about everything with the person they're in a bromance with. So it is a bit layered like a woman's, but I guess it seems like they can break up easy. They can break up easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like with us, it's like, oh, like you feel it, right?
Yeah.
It's more emotional, like you said. But with them, it's like, oh well, I'm not his friend no more, and they kind of just are able to like just get on with it. As for us, it just takes.
Or pretend like they're getting
I'll
on with it,
pretend,
because a lot
yeah,
of times guys are not so like, well, sometimes men are not as forthcoming with their emotions. They're not
that's
letting you know,
true.
like, man, I'm really down in the dumps,
Yeah, I
man.
miss my
Me and
homie.
Didi not homies no more. Like,
Yeah,
they're
like, I wish
not.
I could call Didi right now.
Yeah. Like they may not be expressing that full part of
Yeah,
themselves, you know?
that's true.
Yeah. But I feel like I feel like when the intimacy is deep, the loss is deep. It feels
Yes.
just as
Ooh.
deep. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
They feel like them guys, like they don't tell you like, man, I'm really sad,
No, they
man.
never. They never
Couldn't
talk about
call
it,
Trent
actually.
up no more. Like,
Right. I mean, I miss my homie. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
I feel like the only way you see guys like kind of share in that way is if the homeboy died, or like
Yeah.
passed away.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
if they passed away, then it feels like they feel like they have more societal permission to be sad and to kind of like honor that homeboy that passed away and to
That's
remember
true.
him in that way. But if it's like a homeboy that they just got beefed out with, I feel like they keep those like hard, like external emotions, like, no, man.
Or in instances where like maybe the guy, maybe it was his fault, and so he knows it's his fault, and I think the guilt is like eating away at him. He'll be like, oh man, like yeah, I wish I would have worked it out with Kobe. I wish me and Kobe could have worked that out because he really was a good friend.
Yeah.
But it's still not as deep as how we would do it as if if we caused the breakup between a girlfriend,
Yeah.
It is deeper in that aspect.
Yeah, I feel like too, like for women, it's like our friendships become a space for us to talk about, like, it becomes a space that holds like our stress, like our grief, our pains, our excitements, our like financial things. Like I feel like sisterhood. Yeah, I feel like there's so much community in friendship with women, and I don't know. I'm not a man in friendship with men, so I don't know that men are building that same community with those types of bricks. You understand what I'm saying? Like I feel like maybe they're building it with like a different foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that might be what changes like the nature of those friendships. Yeah. Versus like if you're like, oh, I'm about to move, it's like, well, how are you feeling about that? Are you stressed? Are you this? Are you that? Like there's more like dialogue, more, like laying out of the thing.
Yes.
That happens from that.
But then also it's because women, we're more like detailed
That's right.
than men.
Yeah.
Scientifically, we're more detailed than men. And I think it's a part of our brains. It's something I read. Something I read. Don't quote me on that, but
Something
and
somewhere.
we think faster than men. I think too. It's like it's a bunch of different things that go into why we're much deeper than
Yeah.
them.
Do we
Yeah.
just think like in layers?
Yes, for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
sure.
Well, that makes sense. But also, I mean, I do think that we are a little bit more like emotionally inept,
Yes, for
or
sure,
attuned
for sure.
than what men are too sometimes.
I'd
So
agree with that. So like from personal experience, I feel like the deeper the relationship is, the harder the ending is. But like in your experience, how do your friendships usually end?
for the most part, in my experience, I feel like friendship relationships end because you're in different life stages, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, yeah, like I've had a friendship that we were friends in high school, and then we were friends a little bit until we went to college. And then, but we both went to different colleges, like in different parts of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of stopped being friends, like for the time that we were in college, because she was like exploring her new identity, her new friends. I was doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when relationships are like that, like they're still able to come back together when they don't end like with any resentment or any malice, or someone done something to the other person, then they're still able to come back together, because after college we were still able to come back together and still be friends, and like have some commonalities and things of that nature. Versus sometimes friendships end over resentment.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they end over just misaligned values. We
Yeah.
don't have the same values.
Yeah.
Again, like differences in life stages. Or sometimes it's like there doesn't have to be anything that went wrong. Like we
Mm-hmm.
just grew apart, and
Yes.
that's okay as well. Like we were friends for the time being, and that's all right,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And outgrowing somebody doesn't mean that you don't love them.
Right.
Also, like you can love someone, but you can love them over there, and that's
Yes, from
okay as
afar.
well. Yeah, from afar. But in your experience, what has it been like for you? How have your friendships ended?
Well, a lot of my friendships I've had since like elementary, like grade school.
Mm-hmm.
Grade school. I sound so old.
Grade
Well,
school.
yeah, like early on, and I still have most of those friendships. And I mean, those are my sisters. Like,
Yeah.
so till death do us part. Like, it
Right.
ain't. It's really no ending I see for that. But like, I guess in like friendships that I've gotten like later in like adulthood, maybe they ended because of miscommunication in like needs in the relationship, or like maybe one person needed like, a lot of emotional availability, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
the other person just wanted somebody that, okay, like will, a low maintenance relationship.
Yeah.
So it could have been that, or like you said, just different life stages.
That's
Like,
right.
I moved halfway across the country, and so some of my friendships didn't survive that, because it's like, okay, well, we don't have anything to talk about because we're not in the same place, we're not doing the same things anymore.
Right.
So we're just not relating to each other in that way.
Right.
And like kind of like what you said, it's not like, oh, I'm not that person's friend no more, I don't like her. It's just like, I still love you and I still appreciate the experience we had. It's just not that anymore. And I still love you from a distance,
Mm-hmm.
and we're cool. Like, it's no bad blood or anything. It's just I can't talk to you on the phone every day, like, because that's just not where I am in
Right.
life. So
Right. I like that you said, like, now thinking about it, I feel like I've had friendships that have ended from each of the things. Like, I've had friendships that have ended from miscommunication.
mm-hmm.
I've also had friendships that have ended from different life stages. Some that have ended out of like slow fade,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like different things that have happened. But I am very grateful for the friends that I still have, because those are the friends that I've had for, like you said, like a long time. Yeah. We've been friends since high school or childhood,
right,
or something like that. Like, and I'm always happy when I'm able to retain relationships
mm-hmm.
for that length of time, because yeah, those are people who have seen you grow through different life
yes,
stages.
yes.
They know you intimately.
They know your family.
They know your
like,
family. They're like family to
mm-hmm.
you. But at the same time, I'm also not a person that's like into just holding on to relationships just for the sake of holding
Yeah.
on to it. If it needs to go, let it go. Let it
So let
go.
it go. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I definitely agree with that. And it's like in this stage of life that I'm in right now, and like just coming into motherhood, I'm so easy to just like be willing to cut a friendship off. And I didn't used to be that way, because it's like, oh, but I really love her. Or like, you kind of just want to drag the relationship on. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you're doing a disservice to both parties
Yeah.
because it's like no growth happening there. So it's just like, let's just sever the ties
Yeah.
and you do your thing and I'll do my thing and it's love. Like
That's
it's still
right.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've totally done that too. Like where I just held on to a friend just because we've been friends for a long time,
Yeah.
and I feel like we do that. Like not even just like with friendships. I feel like we do that sometimes in family relationships as
Yeah.
well. It's like there's a role like, oh well, that's my brother, and I know him all my life, so I'll just hold on to the relationship
Right.
versus like, okay, it's not serving anymore, so go
Yes.
ahead and let the relationship go. And I want to be honest about my role in friendships too, because I'm curious first about how you feel like you show up in friendship relationships.
How do I show up? I feel
Yeah.
like I'm a very low maintenance friend.
Hmm.
So you probably won't hear from me, especially these days, like very often. But I expect my friendships to like whenever we do talk, they just seem like they just pick up where they left off. Like
Yeah.
no time has passed, and we can just catch up and it be that. I don't know how my friends view me. That's a really good question. That's a
Hmm.
really good question. But I do think I'm a good friend. I think I'm a good friend. My friends tell me that I'm a good friend. So that
Yeah.
must mean I'm a good
That you're a
friend.
good friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they know they can come to me with any and everything and it's like never any judgment. And I usually always have the capacity for them in
Yeah.
whatever they need. So and also like not just emotional stuff, like if they physically need me, I'm there. Like if they financially need me, I'm there. So
Yeah.
in all aspects, like I think they know that I'm there.
That you're there for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Oh, and my loyalty runs deep.
Yeah.
And I think that's something all my friends can attest to because yeah, ain't nobody playing with my friends.
Yeah.
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 I dick your
Yeah.
homegirl's throat.
then I'd have to get you. I don't want to get you. But ain't nobody coming for my friends and like me and my friends, like we didn't been through some shit, like we didn't rolled on people together, like
Yeah.
yeah, we've been through the trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what kind of friend do you think you are?
I feel like it depends on the relationship. So I
Hmm.
feel like in close intimate relationships, I definitely like show up. I show up, I feel I'm loyal, I'm supportive, like I'm an open person, I'm a transparent person. You can share and feel comfortable to be yourself with me and
Yeah.
there's no judgment in the thing. But in more casual relationships, I feel like I'm a little bit harder to pin down.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like hmm. I just feel like not everyone gets the same version of me, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
and that's intentional. So it
Okay.
depends on like how the friendship is set up. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like in my real friendships or real relationships, not real relationships, but in some friendships, I just feel like I show up differently depending on if the relationship is more casual or if it's more like of an intimate relationship. I show up
Yeah.
differently. Yeah.
I definitely get that. And well, I use the friend thing very carefully. Like I guess people that my friends are like my sisters,
Hmm.
like my friends. And
Right.
then people that are just like acquaintances, I
Yeah.
don't call them friends.
Yeah.
And so they're just that and that relationship is very like very much surface level.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, depending on like, if it's like a work thing or like a industry thing. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, I know that person, but I don't necessarily call everybody a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually I do.
You do. You be like,
I do.
hey.
I do, but I know the difference, like
Hmm.
inside of myself
Yeah.
whenever I'm saying it. Like I will be like, oh yeah, that's my friend. But I know that like that's just my work friend or like
Right.
that's just an acquaintance. Like I know the difference for myself. But if I'm having like casual relationships, I'm like a little bit harder to pin down. I'm a little bit more private and a little bit more like limited access.
Yeah.
But in my close, like intimate relationships, I feel like it's more like no holds bar.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I like how you said that, like, it's like less access because not everybody deserves access to you or your energy,
yeah,
for that matter. And I think that's something we should be more conscious of because a lot of times people are like lending out their energy or like their loyalty and things to people that's not a real friend or somebody that you consider close to you.
I think that one of my biggest lessons has been learning how to move with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that has given me so much clarity because like I said, I would call everybody a friend, but learning like the difference between somebody that you're calling a friend and someone who actually is a friend, like someone who's actually showing up. I reserve that access for people that I feel like that I can actually trust. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go out on a limb for everybody. I'm only gonna go out
Yes.
on a limb to people that go out on a limb for people that I feel like is gonna go out on a limb for me. Because to me, I know that'd be like, and it not like in a way of like you're keeping tabs on things, but to me, reciprocity in relationships is super important.
It
You know,
is.
so it's like I'm not going to give you something if I know you're not going to reciprocate to me in the same way.
Exactly.
You know.
That's actually, I'll do a little story time. That's actually a lesson that I had to learn because I did have this friendship. It was like fairly new. I met this person through a mutual friend. And then we kind of like had some of the same interests, like we kind of had like the same vibe at the time, and so we became friends. But like right off the bat, she was like, "You're my sister. Like, we're sisters. Like, I guess we did kind of like favor a little in our looks or whatever. And so she was just like, "Oh, like you're my sister." But for me, my sisters are people that I've been through seasons with.
Right.
People I've been through like the trenches with.
Right.
That seen multiple versions of myself.
Right.
And so that kind of to me was like a red flag in the relationship because it's like, but I don't know you, and you
Yeah.
don't know me,
Yeah.
and we haven't earned that access to each other yet to be like, you're my sister,
Right.
or like you're my closest friend. But then as like I got deeper into the relationship with her, or well, the friendship with her, she, I kind of learned that she didn't have other female friends because, it was always like she was always falling out with somebody, or like somebody did her something, and so she felt like she had to remove herself from the friendship, that kind of thing or whatever. And I mean, the red flags were there, and then the friendship went on for a little longer, and then I realized like, oh wow, this is why she really doesn't have friends, because a lot of the time it was like she'd show up when she felt like showing up in the friendship, or like she'd give the energy when she felt like it was necessary for her, or she'd want to be like super deep and super like I guess involved when it mattered to her, or when she had the capacity. So it was just like a very like uneven friendship, but like she thought she was the best friend. Yeah. Like she thought she did her absolute best to,
because she was sharing so much of herself.
I guess, yeah, but only on her terms when she felt necessary. It wasn't like a reciprocated thing consistently.
Right.
And so I learned that, oh well, this is why, most of her friendships probably didn't work out because of this reason. And that's why our friendship didn't work out, because of that. And it was just like a lot of like miscommunication. Like she was very like high maintenance, but right off the bat she, I guess, like presented herself as like a low maintenance friend. But she really wasn't like that. And so it took for me to learn like, oh wow, all these red flags were there, and then I just didn't realize it. So now moving forward, when I meet people that I vibe with or whatever, it's like you have to earn access to me.
Yeah.
You have to earn the energy, to call yourself my friend. It just doesn't come with like, oh, we like some of the same stuff, or oh, we have this in common and this in common. Like it just
doesn't come just from commonality.
Yeah, it just doesn't
Does
come like
access
that.
to you come from like history though? Like if you just known somebody long enough, like would
no, if there's no depth to it, then no.
Yeah.
But I mean, now if there is depth and like relatability and like, everything else is there, then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense to why I remember last episode we were talking about the emotional availability, emotionally expressive things. It sounds like you're saying like this girl was very emotionally expressive, but she wasn't necessarily emotionally available for you.
Exactly.
And so that kind of created like a resentment because she wasn't able to reciprocate in that way. It's like an uneven or imbalance in the relationship.
Right.
Which is, I guess, ultimately why the relationship wound up ending.
Yes, which is why most of her friendships ended, because seems like mostly came from stuff like that.
Yeah.
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 And I think she didn't know the difference between her just being emotionally expressive and emotionally available either.
Yeah.
To even tell that to me.
Yeah.
So
did you ever have a conversation with her like, hey girl, like let me tell you about how you're actually showing up. I know this is what you think or how you feel like you're showing up. Let me tell you about how you're actually showing up. Or do you just let it just play itself out?
No, it was like different instances that would happen. And like, so something would happen, and like maybe I didn't talk to her for a few days or like a week or so, and then she'd come around and like with this long text message like, "Oh, I haven't heard from you. I was wondering if maybe I missed something, or like,
Mm-hmm.
there's something going on, like some type of tension or something that I just didn't catch on to." Like she just didn't understand like boundaries and space, and like, but then she'd go ghost for like a whole 4 weeks or a whole month. I wouldn't hear from her, and then she'd come around when she felt like it, and then it was supposed to be okay for me, but then when I reciprocated that, it was a problem.
So you mean that when she would like, okay, so she'd go ghost for a few months, and then she would hit you up and be like, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a few
She would
months."
no, she would go ghost for like a few weeks, right? And then
Okay.
somehow she'd reach out and like, "Hey, you want to go do this? You want to go hike?"
Yeah.
And so we go hike, and like everything is fine, and it's fine with me because I'm a low maintenance friend, so I don't expect to talk to you every day.
Right.
But then I do the same thing in return. So maybe after we go hike, maybe I don't talk to her for a couple weeks, and then I get this long message like, "Hey, girl, is something wrong? Like, we just went hiking. I haven't heard from you since then."
Okay, I see.
So it was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
she was just like super. She felt like super entitled to me, but on her terms, and it
Right.
wasn't like a reciprocated thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually did have a friendship like that.
Really?
Yes, I did have a friendship like that. And I noticed that like friendship breakups normally happen for me like with newer friends. Because I
Mhm.
feel like
Mhm.
with the older friends, there's like, I don't know, there's like a dynamic established, or
Yeah.
there's some understanding established, or they
Mhm.
know more of you.
Right.
So they know not to take things like,
Personal.
yeah, so personally, but I did have like a newer friend, and we were vibing, and we really enjoyed each other. But she was very high maintenance, I realized, as a friend as well. And I think that we were both in different life stages, because also I was in a relationship, she wasn't in a
Yeah.
relationship, but she like constantly wanted to like hang out, and be on the phone and
Mhm.
talking, and all the things. Or like even if you were sitting and like having a conversation with her, like she would be like, stop the conversation and redirect it like back to whatever she had going on, or back to herself or something. But like if I couldn't go to dinner, or like if I couldn't like answer the phone, or like couldn't do something that she wanted to do, she would get really upset like
Yeah.
by the thing, and I would have to tell her like, little bitch,
It's not
it's
personal.
not personal. Like I am working all the time,
Yes.
and when I'm not working, I just want to be at my house relaxing, hanging out,
Yes.
or with my man. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to be
Mhm.
out and about like at the club. I mean, going to the club every so often, okay.
Yes.
But like out and about all the time, we're in different stages
Yes.
of our life. You're looking to meet somebody. I'm already settled in the
Yeah.
thing. I'm not trying to meet nobody.
Right.
I'm okay. But then also, like I'm saying, like the high maintenance, like if I call you at 7 a.m., and at that time I was not waking up at 7 a.m. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know me. It's like I'm not waking up at 7 a.m. But like, say I would call back at like, and that's the other thing. Like when I would wake up, like I never, when I wake up, like get on my phone or
Mhm.
like feel like I need to call somebody. I will be up for like 2, 3, 4 hours, and I'm not calling you until I feel
Right.
ready to do the thing. I need to have
Yeah.
my own time for myself. But like maybe I'd call her back at like 1 or something like that. And she's like, well, never mind now. Cause I called you hours ago, and don't worry about it now. Don't worry, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, girl, but it's like, girl, I don't need to be like chastised about the thing. Like,
Yes.
you're not my parent,
Right.
we're
And we're
friends.
not in a relationship.
We're not in a relationship, and I can't answer your call every time you
Yeah.
call me. And first off, if you calling me 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, it was never gonna happen
Yeah.
anyway, love. It was never gonna
Right. Because if you
happen.
knew me, you knew I wouldn't be up at that
I'm not
time
gonna be up, and if
anyway.
I am up, I'm not gonna be able to receive your phone call. Like
Yeah.
I'm not doing that at that early in the morning. I
Yeah.
don't like talking to people early in the morning anyway. I don't
No.
like that.
I don't like talking to people when I'm not ready. Like you said, if
When
you're
you're
not ready,
ready,
it's
yeah.
like I'm gonna call you back when I have the capacity
Capacity
for
for
this
the thing.
conversation. Like,
Yeah.
and that was very much what the situation was. Like, it's like everything she just took so personal, and it's
Yeah.
like, what happened to you? Like, why are you
Right.
so traumatized? Like, you're trying to fill this. You're trying to fill a void with this
Right.
friendship, and
And it's
it's
not
not
gonna work.
that.
It's not gonna work. It's
No,
not
it's
gonna work.
not.
And to like versus like taking some, I guess some indications from the actual relationship, like, okay, how else have I showed up for you as a friend? Like I've
Yeah,
showed up for you in this way and in that way and in that way. Like, why does this set you off so much? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
why are you so set off by that thing? But eventually we wound up getting into like some sort of a tiff, and I just didn't like the way the whole thing went down. So I just was like, oh, okay, cool. bye.
And that was it.
And that was it.
And you haven't talked to her since?
I see her like around sometimes, and I'll say like we're cordial, like we'll say hello to each other, but that was it for me.
Yeah.
Because too, like I told you earlier, I had a friend that we went to high school together. We were really good friends. We went to college, separate colleges. She went on to live her life. I went on to live mine. We never had a bad thing ever to say about each other. Like we always like still bigged each other up, still always rooted for each other, congratulated each other. If she saw opportunities come along, she'd always send them to me. So I felt like that was a real friend. With this person though, I felt like the moment that I wasn't friends with them, it's like, and it's actually not confirmed, but I feel like your intuition kind of be, you ever walk into a room and you just know that like the people in the room is talking about you, or like people have energy for you?
Energy, yeah.
Yes, it's like I just knew. I felt like she was like going around
bad mouthing you.
Yeah, talking about me to other people. So I would show up to a place where like we'd both be in, and it would be like other girls there or people there that like I didn't know, like I never met before or anything, but they would have energy towards me, and it's like, wow, why you have energy? You have to. She had to.
Yeah, she had to.
I get it, love. You know,
wow.
Or like she'd be on the internet like subbing me. You know what I mean? And so many times I want to be like, okay, now look, you know,
let me get you right, cause
yeah. No, I ain't gonna do that.
Right, cause then you stoop down to that level,
and I done drug myself out, and now I'm pissed. And, yeah.
I don't want to crash out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny.
Isn't that funny?
It's so funny. But okay, so and well, this girl, we didn't have like a really, so after going through the, oh well, I seen you wasn't talking to me or whatever, I just want to check and see if something was wrong. That happened a couple times, and it's like, well, don't you get it? Like I just got other priorities, and like you said, we were in different phases of our lives. Like I had just became a mother. Like, girl, I'm barely surviving. Like I'm barely a whole person at this point, you know. Right. So, and it's like postpartum, like so many different elements were happening in my life, and she just was not cognitive of any of those things, and it was just like no grace, and it's just like, I don't know, she just thought my world was supposed to revolve around that friendship, which was crazy. And then so it kind of, I think it just happened, she just like ghosted me and like stopped responding to me one day. And I mean, I had reached out on several occasions after that to like talk about what the issue was or why she stopped responding, and she just never responded again. So, well, then to me at that point, the friendship was over. Yeah. It was like, well, I had already wrote this off, but now it's like a for sure thing.
Right.
And so now I do the whole, I'm unfollowing on social media, because one time done with someone in a relationship, it's like I'm closing all the doors. Like, it's not beef. It's not like, oh, I hate you. It's just like I'm protecting myself and my energy.
Right.
And I don't want to have to see you. I don't want you to have to see me. I just want us to move on amicably. Yes, exactly. And so that's what it was for me. And then like, I mean, years later, I get like, you know, a message, like a long drawn out message, like, oh, we should talk about things. And it's like,
years later?
Like over a year later.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like over a year later. Yeah. But that, girl, I mean, in my head, it's years later. Like I'm such a complete different person in like such a different space. It's like there's nothing to talk about. Like it's just done at that point. And I feel like if it meant so much to you, then we would have talked about it sooner. Yeah. Or like, you know, it would have been, you know, a pressing issue sooner.
Yeah, but sometimes people take a long time to process like what it was that they experienced, which is like, I understand that. I'm kind of like you. I understand like taking a long time to process, but if it took you a year to process the thing, like I'm already off the thing. We already closed the door. Yes. I'm already in a habit, in a routine of not talking to you, not seeing you. Like
it's done. Like a break, like a romantic breakup. It's like
it's done.
It's done. At this point. Yeah. It's done. So yeah, that's really how it ended.
My thing is like, even when friendships end, if the person is still able to, like I said, like move like they have some modicum of respect for you,
yeah,
or you the same with them, like there was once love there, yes, and there's still love there. There's no beef. We just are not that close anymore. Right. Then I think that's how, to me, that's like the true measure of like, okay, we did have some. It
was real, yeah, to some extent,
or like you had a friendship and it just outgrew itself. Yes, like it's run its course, you know. Versus like, I don't know, like how you ended with that girl. Like, did you know? Like, is she like? like out saying things about you or like
I
being
don't
nasty, even though
know.
because you're like,
I like closed the chapter.
yeah,
I completely forgot all about her.
yeah,
Like in that instance of like, oh, this is my friend type situation.
right,
And like I think the mutual friend that we had, it wasn't like a real close relationship with them either. So I wouldn't say that we ran in the same circles to like even run across each other to see
right,
each other again.
right,
So
right,
yeah, it
yeah.
just kind of I felt like it ended in a fine way, and I think it could have just been left at
Just
that.
like the clean
And
break.
from my perspective, it wasn't any beef still. Even though she ghosted me, it wasn't beef. It's like, okay, this is just not, we're just not going in the same direction, and that's
And that's
fine.
okay.
Yeah. And so I appreciate what we had for the little time that it lasted, and
And keep
that's
it
it.
pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, like, I think like when you're going through different life transitions, like it's always interesting to see like what relationships survive those
Mhm.
transitions and which ones don't. Like
Yeah.
getting pregnant, and having a baby, it's like
Yeah.
interesting to see like what relationships still like come out of that.
Yeah, motherhood, it really showed me who was for me and who, well, not against me, but like, it really showed me who my like true tribe was. Um, my pregnancy, I was very like quiet about it, and I kept it to myself until I was ready to reveal it to the world. But
Mm-hmm.
like all my close friends and family, like my close knit circle, they knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to like share that with them and like share the excitement with them, and everybody was like so supportive. Most of my friends, they already had children, so they offered me like advice, and it was just a really good experience with like my, I guess, like true friends, but also like some of like the newer friendships kind of fell off because I needed more space. Like my body was transitioning. A lot of things I used to do or like activities like working out. I was like super active, like always hiking or maybe always going to events and stuff. I kind of like fell back from a lot of that because
Mm-hmm.
early on in my pregnancy, it was just so tough on my body.
Yeah.
I was so sick, like,
Yeah.
ugh, I
You
just,
were nesting.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
nesting and like, rightfully so, just taking that time to really enjoy the experience of, like a baby growing inside of me. Um, but yeah, it really just showed me like who really supported me, without me having to like, overshare or like I said, I've always been like a super transparent friend, but like in those times, like, I kind of went inward and like a lot of my friends were always checking up on me, calling me, texting me, coming visit me and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Do you think that because with the newer friendships, you said like they met you like in a space where you were like really active and outside and hiking and going to events and stuff? Do you think it's like because you weren't able to be that version of yourself at that time, that's why those friendships or those relationships didn't survive? Because
yeah.
like you couldn't go hiking and do the things anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kinda. And then also like, I was going into a new season. So obviously, and then once I had my son, it was just like I'm definitely not going outside. We didn't allow people to visit him for like the first month or so just because we wanted that time for our family.
right,
And I mean he was a newborn. So
right.
but some people like took offense to that, and it was like it's not offensive, it's just like boundaries. Like, something we wanted to do for our family, but it did kind of create distance within my friendships.
And
Some
the
of
new
them,
ones,
the
you feel
new
like,
friendships,
yeah.
yes.
But in your older relationships,
No, everybody understood. They were
yeah,
like,
of course,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
like, it's no problem. Like, reach out when you can, like, that kind of thing. But I guess, like you said, newer people, it's like they don't really know that many versions of you. They
right.
really don't know, like, what your limits are, like, what all your boundaries are, as opposed to like people that's known you for like most of your life. They've
Yeah.
gone through those experiences to learn those things about you. So
Yeah, like they're less inclined to weather through all of the
for
storms.
sure.
Whereas it, like your older relationship, they're like, oh, we've been through something
Hmm.
up and down before. Like I know we'll get through this thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And they were actually like just more graceful. Like, of course, like take the time you need.
Right.
Whereas like the new friendships, it's like, well, why aren't you like you said, like why aren't you texting me back, or why aren't you calling me back, or I called you like 2 days ago and you're just calling me back now, and it's like I'm barely alive, like I'm barely
Right.
like breathing. Can I just take a moment?
I feel like in that way, it's like the big life moments just kind of reveal,
Yes.
like, I guess, like the standing of your relationships.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, and how strong they actually are.
that's right.
Do you have like any big moments that kind of brought that out of you? I know you just got married, so how was that?
Yeah, I think that I did have like some moments like that where I was able to see like some of the older relationships that like stood more of the test of time versus like some of the newer relationships that didn't. But also there were some older relationships that didn't necessarily like stand through as well. I think what I learned about myself through that is that for me, showing up doesn't necessarily have to just be like a physical thing. It could
Mm.
also be like an emotional thing as well. And I think that we got married like destination wedding, and because you were there.
Yes, I had the time of my life.
Period. And we did. It did. Um, but I think that like some people who weren't able to make it physically, it was like, oh, okay, that's fine because it's a travel, it's like a little bit more commitment and more effort to make it to the thing. But I feel like there's still other ways to show up.
Yeah, for
Like you could
sure.
send a card, send
Yeah.
a bottle of champs, like how was it? Like, there's different things. And some of those like older relationships didn't necessarily do that. So it was sad for me and for my partner as well. But I mean, you sometimes you have to look at things and be like, okay, look, not even with malice or from a place of resentment, because it doesn't have to be any villains for the thing. It just could be like, you know what, that relationship ran its course,
Yes.
and now it's time for us to start a new chapter,
Yes.
a new transition. And
Yeah.
I do kind of like big moments in life like that because it kind of ushers people in and out. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I
Without you
mean?
having to do the
Without
dirty
you having
work.
to do anything. Yeah, it just ushers people in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So in saying that, do you think that friendships can end without somebody necessarily being wrong? Like it can just end amicably, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think that sometimes like the most respectful ending could just be a quiet one. That's what I prefer.
Yeah.
I think that friendship could end and it could be like there needs to be no public fallout. There needs to be like no narrative shaping or
Yes.
trying to control this or anything of that nature. I feel like friendships can just end and just everybody just goes their distance. Like honor the space and honor the time that you spent with the person and then
Yes.
just go on about your way.
Right.
That's how I am. Like I don't know, I feel like if I've ever spent time with someone or called someone a friend, had love for someone, like it's not in my nature to want to bring the person down or be
Yeah.
disrespectful towards them or like be nasty towards them. It's like, no, I want all the best for you, and then I'm gonna move on. And I'll probably be sad about it for a little while,
Yeah.
but once I'm done with the thing, I'm done with the thing.
Same.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Same.
Even with the friend I was telling you that I know that she went around talking about me to other people, I still never say anything bad about her.
Right. And do you feel in hindsight, do you feel better that you did it that way?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I feel much better that I did it that way. There's like inside of myself, there's always a measure to myself of the person that I want to be and how I want to show up in relationships or in the world in general.
Yeah.
And I'm not always able to do that because sometimes my emotions do get the best of me. But I do really enjoy when it's like, okay, that's the person who you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And that's how you wanted to show up. And you actually did that. And
I'm
you,
proud of
bitch.
you.
I'm proud of
Yes.
you, bitch. You did it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I feel that way. About the friendship I was telling you about. That's kind of like how when the person did reach out, I just felt so much peace in saying, actually, I'm
I'm
good.
good. Yeah.
I don't feel a need to like rehash anything or like revisit the past. Like I'm good. I wish you well and truly mean it. And let's just move on.
That's
And
right.
I was just so proud of myself.
Yeah.
And I was able to like, although I said that like I completely forgot about her, there was like emotional baggage or like energy still lingering, from that friendship. And I feel like I finally was able to like let
Let
all
it
of it
go.
go completely.
Yeah. Do you sometimes like when there's like that emotional or energy still lingering, you gotta do like a little cord cutting. You know what I mean? Like snip that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I still might do that just
Yeah.
because even though you might be done with somebody, they still might be harvesting your energy,
That's
like
right.
calling your energy, or like the evil eye is real, and I don't play with stuff like that. So, yeah, I think I do want to do like a card cutting, not just for that friendship, but other
For
friendships
other
too.
things as
Yeah,
well.
like
Yeah.
just to let all that stuff go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So the moral of this story is like there doesn't have to be villains.
no,
Yeah. There
yeah,
doesn't have to be villains.
it can be cool. We can just end and move on, and everybody just live their happy life and just be that.
Yeah. Okay, so that actually was a very deep
It
combo, and I knew
was.
that one would be. I knew that one would
And I
be.
feel like we could have kept going on and on and
We could
on.
have.
But yeah, we'll end it.
Yeah, we'll end it here. But before we get out of here, I am gonna leave you guys with the journal prompt. This is our last episode. Can you believe we didn't even talk about that?
I
This is our last
know. It
episode.
is. It's our last episode of season 1, and I'm so proud of it.
I'm proud of us too.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of us. And thank you guys so much for rocking with us, for tuning in, for leaving the comments, for all the things. Like, this was such a labor of love.
Yep.
And we truly appreciate y'all. So let me give you the journal prompt. Sit on this, and then we're gonna come back and discuss this in season 2. But just go ahead and sit on this for the time being. It is, who currently has full access to me and why?
Ooh.
Who currently has full access?
It's important to pinpoint that so you can know where all your energy is going.
That's right.
So yeah,
that's 1,000%
a really good prompt.
Yeah.
And don't forget, before we go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of all our episodes that we're going to be dropping moving forward. And we're just so thankful for y'all, and we can't wait to see y'all in season 2.
See y'all in season 2. This cup been taking me down all season. We have to find a new place for this. It's ridiculous. Cut.